Here's the hard truth that I wish I knew decades sooner in life. You will never consistently make more money than your identity allows. If deep down you still see yourself as someone who has to struggle for success, as someone who's bad with money, or as someone who's only worthy of a certain level of wealth, you will always find a way to sabotage your own success, subconsciously or consciously. Your self image is like a financial thermostat. It doesn't care how much you want to make, it only lets you have what you believe you're allowed to have. And unless you change the setting, you'll keep watching money slip away, opportunities stall, and growth feel just out of reach. So, in this episode, we're going straight to the root. I'm going to show you exactly how to uncover the hidden beliefs running your financial reality, how to rewire your self-image for wealth, and why the biggest money breakthrough you need isn't another strategy. It's a shift in who you believe you are. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. Hello. We are almost sold out for the class of 2025, Selling with Soul. This is my signature 5-week live group coaching program that is designed to show you step by step exactly what you need to do, what you need to focus on in order to monetize your gifts, skills, passions, and talents online. I've been getting questions asking, how do I know if I'm ready for this? What stage do I need to be in my business for Selling with Soul to be right with me? Or I haven't even started yet. If you are making under $15,000 a month consistently online in your business, okay? And notice I said online. You can have a brick and mortar in-person practice. You could be running in-person retreats. You could be doing live events. You could be a medical practitioner. You can be an accountant. You can be a lawyer. You can be a therapist. And you're making money in your business that way, but you're not making any money online yet, or you're under that 15,000 a month reoccurring income. This is the program for you because you are going to learn income generating skills that we focus on, because no one can take a skill away from you. In fact, the better you get at a skill, the more it pays off, whether it's a craft, whether it's a sport, whether it's in business. So the most empowering thing that I can do for you so that you can make like fuck you money, meaning you can say fuck you to the job and fuck you to the person and fuck you to the government, whoever you want to say fuck you to, so that you can have freedom level cash. You can only do that if you have money making skills, which is why we don't just give like programs around here that just give you information. You can chat GBT or Google information. Information just leads you to more analysis paralysis and overwhelm. It can trick you into thinking that you're doing something. That would be like me pinning and saving healthy crock pot recipes and buying workout clothes. Yeah, that'll make me feel like I'm doing something, but I'm not working out. I'm not eating the healthy foods. So how do you think that's going to result? It's not going to get me results. You actually have to set yourself up and stack the odds in your favor so that you show up. And that's why we have the live component in weekly live trainings with me. You have my team as well. We have a private group so you guys can all keep yourselves accountable. And then we keep it simple. So there's 2 modules that you focus on, like self-paced modules with workbooks that you do each week. So we do things in bite size. So it's all doable. It's not like hours and hours and hours of coursework. That is not fucking necessary. So don't let your brain go there. And then we have a live training reviewing that and doing hot seat coaching so that all of what you're learning in the skill actually clearly sets in so you can apply it to your business as quickly as possible so you can start seeing the cash and clients, honey, because we do not have time to waste. You are going to have a rich guy or a rich girl summer, especially on my watch, as long as you show up and follow through and get in here. So go to projectmewithtiffany.com/selling with soul. You can swipe up as well. It is in the show notes here, also in the description on YouTube on Project Me TV. It is in the link in bio now on my TikTok and Instagram. Don't wait because it will sell out. Like we've sold out the last few years. And I know some of you can like procrastinate and hesitate, which is why you are listening to these money shadow episodes I'm doing for you this week, because this is a subtle form of self sabotage. You have an opportunity in front of you that only comes once a year from someone who you vibe, you trust, you like my style. I'm handing you the keys to the fucking kingdom in a way that's actually going to be fun, not boring. And not taking the opportunity in front of you is a way of rejecting the wealth that is waiting for you. It is that sneaky. And I know because I've done all these things. I've learned a lot of things the hard way. And why have I learned so many things the hard way? Because I had a belief that I have to learn everything the hard way. And so it is. More money won't fix what you're avoiding. Let's talk about the real reason you're chasing financial success and how to create true abundance from the inside out. So, just like I did in the last episode, and if you haven't listened to it this week, listen to that right after this, because we go deep into the money shadows. This is a focus on your wealth identity shift, because your identity is coming as a result of these money shadows, and it's outdated. It's shitty programming. It's old. We need to upgrade the system. Therefore, we need to upgrade your identity in order for you to be a match for the wealth, for the success that you want to call into your life. Because if you don't upgrade your identity, you can't be a match for it. And then you'll keep banging your head against the wall. You'll keep hitting your head against a self-imposed glass ceiling. Like you've glass ceilinged yourself on money. And I know what that feels like because my ass was glass ceiling for real in the corporate world. And then I did it to myself with my own business. It's wild how we do this stuff. So let's get into it. Money is not the problem, it's the emotions that we attach to it. Studies show that money activates the same brain regions as drugs, specifically the ventral striatum. And if I'm saying that wrong, I don't fucking care, which is linked to reward and addiction. I need to read that again to you because this is where you see people doing crazy shit out of scarcity and crazy stuff around money. Why money is such an activating, potent energy. It can be so triggering. Studies show that money activates the same brain regions as drugs, specifically the ventral striatum, which is linked to reward and addiction. Many entrepreneurs unconsciously use money as a coping mechanism, whether through impulsive spending, hoarding, or income obsession, all driven by deeper emotional needs. This is where some of you go, oh, that person is money hungry. That person is greed. I mean, in every profession since the beginning of time, right? People have done greedy things. They've done illegal things. They've misled people. They've overpromised, underdelivered. I'm sure you have been scammed in some way by people, from a coach buying a course or a product, right? People go down some wild path in the medical industry, in the legal industry. It happens all the time. The corruption in politics. And so then that can lead us to going, oh, like money is evil. Well, or makes people do evil things. It's not the money. It's the person's identity in the shadows beneath all of that. That would be like saying alcohol is evil. I mean, I'm not saying certain drugs aren't evil. Like, I mean, but well, let's even talk about that. Fentanyl, we can go, that's evil. On the other hand, that is a very important drug that gets used to treat severe burn victims, cancer patients. So it can cause evil, but there's a lot of good to it too. How did I go off on this tangent? Let's get back on track. So many entrepreneurs will end up getting fixated on external things, views, likes, sales, clients, money, press, prestige, right? Like being on the top of the charts for your top book. And if they're not, then that must mean this. And if you have not gone down that path at all, and you're not willing to admit even to yourself while listening to this episode that you haven't gotten caught up in external factors for your own self-worth, you're fucking lying. Or you're like a saint. You're an unusual person, because I know I have. So instead of asking, how do I make more money? I want you to ask this question. What am I emotionally seeking through money? That doesn't mean that you can't have more money, but it's so much deeper than that. What am I seeking? You're seeking freedom? Even go deeper than that. Why are you seeking freedom? What is it about the freedom? For me, it always comes down to safety and security. I want to know that I'm safe. I want to know I'm taken care of. I want to know that I'm okay, that I won't be left destitute. I won't be left without, that I have enough resources to do and have whatever I need to have. And that's really the emotional seeking part. And it can be unhealthy. I can get into like a hoarding behavior with money. I've shared before that my lead accountant for ProjectME is also my business manager, Tom. They have a nickname for me, and I'm not offended by it. I laugh about it because it's fucking true. They call me a chipmunk. They're like, it's almost as though like you were like a depression baby, you were like raised in a different time. And I go, well, I'm sure there's generational trauma there, because my father was a depression baby because my dad had me at 50, so he was a lot older. And my dad had some of those money hoarding behaviors. And this is how we pass that bundle of money trauma on innocently. It's not like my dad meant to do that. My dad was a sweetie. But like I watched my dad do crazy things, like when we would go to our annual trip to New York, when I was a little girl and there were still payphones, there'd be all these banks of payphones. And my dad, as we would go by every bank, and if you've been to New York and you've been when there were payphones, there's no place in the world that had more payphones. It was fucking wild. And he would stick his finger in the little slot where like the change return was, every single one, almost compulsively, like a little OCD vibe. And even if all my dad like got was a dime, he would be so giddy. You don't think that obviously I noticed it. I still remember remember it to this day as a kid. And I always thought like, God, money must be scarce, or whatever money's in front of you, you better take it. You better grab it because it could be gone. He did the same as if he found like coins or anything in the street. And so I picked up some of that behavior from him. The dopamine trap, why money feels addictive but leaves you empty. Key stat, 80% of lottery winners, it's actually 85% now, but 85% of lottery winners lose their winnings within a few years. This is from the National Endowment for Financial Education. I have one of my main YouTube videos talks about this. They are losing it not because, oh, they're bad with money, oh, they got scammed. I'm not saying some of them weren't, they weren't experienced with money, but they weren't bad with money by what people mean, like, oh, they're an idiot. It's because they did not change their identity with the money that they have. So when I see people, I see it a lot on TikTok because focus heavily on that account on money mindset and manifestation. And people will be like, I'm manifesting winning the lotto, I'm manifesting getting a big inheritance. And it's like, no, that's not the vibe. First of all, that's entitled manifesting. Second of all, you won't be able to hold on to it unless you make an identity switch, an identity upgrade to be at the match for that. Okay. Like I've had influxes of cash and clients throughout my 17 years of being an entrepreneur, to where taxes were due. And I was like, Why do I not have much to show for this? It's because I never enhanced, shifted my identity to be able to hold the larger sums of money, to hold the bigger clients, to be able to hold on to it. So there were unexpected bills. I didn't even know what I spent it on. Weird shit happened, and there wasn't much to show for it, or I ended up working 10 times harder than I needed to for it because of my own money shadows, which I talk about in the episode from Tuesday, where I felt like, oh, to have more money, I'm going to have to like pay the piper, right? Because I was raised in that environment. You want love, you want attention, you want affection, you want a pair of shoes, you've got to pay the piper in every fucking way that I say. And so I was raised with that, what is it, carrot stick approach. And then I got into a corporate career being in sales, which was the same way. And so I just kept repeating these behaviors unknowingly to insanity. The dopamine cycle explains why hitting financial milestones or making big purchases feels euphoric, but it fades quickly. This can lead to an endless chase where people tie their identity to financial highs. And this can happen to things that end up being tied to finances, meaning going viral on social media, right? The going viral, the high isn't because, oh, so many more people are seeing my stuff. The high is because we tie that to success, we tie that to money. So that is where the dopamine hits, and you're just, why isn't this happening? And I was doing well and now not doing well, and I need this to hit and I need this to happen, and what does it mean about me if I don't get these clients? And I had clients then, or I did a launch and no one bought, or only this many people came to my live training. And even with the downloads on a podcast, it that's tied to money, right? I mean, it is, right? Like the more downloads you have, if you know what you're doing and you actually have a strategy on monetizing, it does equal more money. And so you're not mad that you don't have the downloads because, oh, not that many people know about me. I mean, yes, I'm not saying you're heartless and you don't want more people to find the show because it helps them. I do know you have that. But I'm talking about the dopamine grab, the addictive side, is because it is tied to the money and prestige game. So that's where you get that, the highs of, oh my God, look how great this video did. Oh, yes, I got a client, right? I was in corporate sales. Like I got highs off that too. But the problem is, if you get highs off of those things, and I'm not saying to not celebrate your wins, there's a difference. You get high, meaning I feel myself, I'm standing taller, I'm more confident, I'm more worthy, I've got it, I've got the swagger. No, that's false confidence. That's all a shim sham. Because the second it goes away and it goes down, which it will, because this is how any business is, okay? There's ups, downs, and in betweens. Now I'm no good. I'm irrelevant. No one's into my stuff. What am I doing wrong? I'm a piece of shit. I can fall into it too. I have an ego. Doesn't matter that I teach this shit. If you have an ego, you fall into it. That's why I'm saying when you're listening to this right now, I need you to be willing to, with love, call yourself out. Like, yeah, I fall into ego with that stuff. So here's where I see it as a coach. Entrepreneurs who are constantly launching new offers, not even because they need the money, but they crave like the rush of success, or they've convinced themselves like the more money, the better. I need more, more, more. They're like, more is better, more is better. Hello. Think of a substance addict. More is better. And one line of cocaine did this. What would three do? More is better, more is better, more is better, more is better. And I mean, some of these people are wild that I watch. And I used to be a little judgy judge when I would see it, like, okay, that's wild. Like, who the fuck can constantly be launching? Like, I would be flatlined. And now I look at it with compassion. Like, I really hope this person reaches out to work with me. I hope they hit their bottom with this addiction and with this cycle, because this is, I don't care how big of a team you have. Think of all these major product businesses, beauty brands. I mean, I work with a lot of them with my other business. You don't see them constantly launching. I mean, because it's literally insane. It would cause so much fatigue and burnout on the organization. They wouldn't be able to keep employees. And I know some of you are always chasing it. Oh, well, no one bought this course, so I'm going to create another course. Oh, no one signed up for this freebie. I'm going to do this. No one did that. I'm going to post more. I'm going to do more. I'm going to do more. I'm going to do more. And for a time period, it works, just like drugs and alcohol. For a time period, you get a high, you actually feel better. It seems to be working. Oh, I've hacked the system, this, that, and the other. Like, this is my thing. You're like riding on a pink cloud until it all comes crashing down. And let me tell you, I have been on both sides of it, and it ain't cute. The I'll feel successful win lie. A Harvard study found that after $75,000 per year, additional income had little impact on happiness. Now, this is from 2010. So obviously that number would be different now. My guess is it's probably around 150,000. And this is a good time to share a quick story. So my business manager, who I've mentioned, Tom, his like right hand, Donna, who I've known for many, many years, she's great. I actually work with her on some of my like investment stuff. And we had a insane conversation last year that still has stuck with me when she was doing the projections for Project Me with Tiffany Carter in terms of like earnings, because you have to do projections in order to kind of tax plan and shit like that. Like, you want to make like baller cash like this, you've got to treat your business like a business. Okay. Like, these are wild conversations that we have. And she said to me, I need you to know something. And they're the largest CPA firm in Southern California. So they work with influencers, celebrities, A-list people. They don't work with super small business owners. I mean, technically I have a small business, but like, you got to be making in the millions for them to work with you. And she said that they have noticed, and there's like something crazy, like 100 accountants that work for the firm. There might even be more. Anyone who's making over 10 million a year is drastically miserable. There's a cut point of when it becomes like they feel alone, they're burnt out, they've got so many employees, they have all these people problems, and what they've determined in their own case studies is that it's for businesses, it's a 10 million marker. And I found that really fascinating, and I really listened when she said, and I'm not trying to like pigeonhole myself at a certain dollar amount, but I also know that my tendency, as I admitted in here, is to hoard, and it's never enough because of the need for safety security. It's a God-shaped hole, all right? Like, it's my own shit. It's like, but at what cost? You know what I mean? Like, the cost and reward factor. So, when people link their self-worth to financial goals, they experience arrival fallacy, believing that achieving a certain income will bring lasting happiness only to feel empty once they received it. Been there. It's when I hit $1 million in my bank account by the time I was 30. That was my goal, literally seven figures. I remember where I was standing and I went, oh, wow, that's kind of cool to see. And that was it. I felt fucking nothing. That's it. Now, that was a long time ago for me, and had a very different identity then than I do now. But I do know what that feels like. Entrepreneurs who hit six figures but still feel unfulfilled, or they hit the six. And I've had this with clients. I've had to have the tough conversation with private clients of mine where they're like, well, I finally hit 1 million, but like, I want to be at 3 million. Well, how about we like sit and hold the space and the energy that you're at 1 million, and when you came to me, you were at like 250,000. How about we hold the space that you're at seven figures now? That doesn't mean we're not going to grow from here, since that's a goal of yours, but like, you're not going to be able to grow and expand in the next level abundance if you're not appreciating, recognizing, and relishing where you're at and really allow yourself to feel it. Separating money from emotional validation. This is really important to do in business, especially an online business, like the personal brand, like people are buying your intellectual property or you're selling affiliate stuff or you have a store. It's like you're the face of your brand. It can feel really fucking personal when your views are down. It can feel really fucking personal when the podcast downloads are down. It can feel really fucking personal when no one is buying, when the program is yours, right? And it can also feel exhilarating when all of it is up. And it can be really, really dangerous because if your own level of worth and well being is tied to something external, it will never fucking end well. You will be constantly rattled and in this insanity cycle of dopamine high and then just crashing, crushing low, like bipolar business. And it is not cute. So here's how we're going to do this. Step one, I want you to identify a recent financial decision driven by emotion of yours. Stress shopping, underpricing services, impulsive, just like impulsive moves that you've made. Um, I made a couple impulsive investments in other people's companies last year. So I'm doing this along with you, okay? I can't ask you to do it if I don't do it. Step two, ask, what was I truly seeking in that moment? Security, control, validation, love. Mm. What was I doing in investing that? I felt like, what was I? But that's, see, it's hard to answer it on the spot. I'm going to have to sit with it, but I want to come up with some kind of at least answer. I was probably seeking even more security. Like, I'm going to invest some of my profits back into other businesses so then I can, spread my wealth into more income streams to make more money. But I did it more on the impulsive side. Okay. So here's the difference. You just randomly buying my Selling with Soul program without even a second thought, like, of buying it. That is an impulsive buy, even though I want you to buy it. What I want is for you to have a grounded knowing of, okay, I want to learn these skills that Tiffany teaches in there because these are income generating skills that will change my life as long as I practice them. And I want the accountability and I want to be able to monetize my gifts, skills, passions, and talents online and have these additional revenue streams so that I can work less and make more. Like, be really grounded and intentional in why you're doing it. And while, yes, Selling with Soul's a tax write off because it's designed to give you the skills in order for you to grow your business and make money. So you have that feature as well. And you're really looking at, no, this is a solid, sound decision. And me not doing Selling with Soul, well, what's my plan to get to where I want to go in my business if I don't do this? That's you really like taking a pause and looking at something logically versus just like being trigger happy and doing something. Okay. So what are you seeking in that moment that you made that kind of a purchase? Step three, reflect on alternative ways to meet that need without money. I had to do some of this stuff where I got some of this is I had to do this around food. I didn't want to admit that I had any emotional eating because I just looked at it as like a sign of weakness or something. I didn't like that. That was not flattering about myself. And I had to put my ego aside. And it was a similar steps where it was like reflect on alternative ways to meet that need without food. A lot of mine was around comfort and I wanted a hug and stuff like that. So what are alternative ways to meet that need without money? And I want you to look at it even as a bigger picture. You're in a launch, you're wanting clients that we're not blocking those things from coming in. But I don't want you to be so reliant on those things because then we can't detach from the outcome. Then you become needy. Then you become codependent on the clients and the cash. And then you repel it and then you sabotage it. We attract the people, we attract the sales, we attract the buyers, we attract what we are detached to. I don't need it. Of course, I want to have a fucking business. Of course, I want, who doesn't want more money? But I don't need it to be okay. I don't need it to be good with myself. So, creating true financial peace, the goal is to shift from using money to fill a void to allowing money to flow because you already feel whole. So, your new identity is I am someone who is safe, worthy, and abundant regardless of my bank account balance. So, it's you being good with where you're at, regardless of the external factors. And this is, I know this is deep shit. That's why you come to me and you come to this show. Like surface level shit's going to give you surface level results. And most of the shit that's out there is surface level, which is why I knew I needed to come into the online space and in the podcasting space because I knew there had to be other people like me who were tired of the surface shit. They've already done enough of that and they want to go deep because they want the deeper results and the deeper transformation. So, what's your new identity? I am someone who feels blank regardless of blank. I am someone who knows blank regardless of blank. That's the true abundant identity. It's not, it's that you could have stuff stripped away. Your business could be surging, your business could be flatline, your business could be, going down temporarily. But I am safe and secure no matter what because I have my own back. That's mine. Because, like I said, mine's around safety, security. I'm safe and secure because I have my own back and I advocate for myself and I show up for myself and I'm in integrity and I will never put myself in harm's way. I'll do everything possible not to put myself in harm's way. And that's regardless of any kind of money. So I want you to really take some time to sit with some of these questions and what is the identity? We're creating an identity that is detached from external factors, from fame, prestige, awards. I don't want you saying things like, I am a number one best-selling author. That doesn't mean you can't manifest having that. But what we're working on here is your identity. What's the identity of a best-selling author? That doesn't take away from that author having an incredible book, whether they're fucking number one or not even on the chart at all. You want to know why? Because I gotta say this, it's a fucking money grab to be in the top of the charts. It's a whole strategy. I've learned so many things. Okay. It's a whole, like a lot of things. It's a game, right? It's a game. It's politics, getting, certain positions. Most of it is a game. A lot of the stuff is a game. But that doesn't take away. I know so many people who have the most beautiful voices and they'll never have some multi-platinum album. That doesn't mean that they don't have a gift. And that doesn't mean they're not wanting to manifest having that exposure to their voice and their talents and their gifts. But we have to first start with establishing our identity separate from external factors. Otherwise, we'll always be chasing something. And when you chase something, you're in scarcity. You're saying, I don't currently have it. I fucking need it. If I don't have this, I won't be confident. I won't be happy. I won't be safe. I won't be secure. And when we chase, it gets further away from us. How you actually attract is by being rooted in your identity and in that level of certainty about it. And then you actually attract it to you. That's the power of the law of attraction. That's what we're doing here. And it does all start with you. You're the common denominator in your life. And we just need to upgrade your identity to be a match for where you want to be in your life right now. And we're always changing. You can upgrade your identity at any given time. Let me know if you love this episode. Take a screenshot, share it in social media, tag me at Project Me with Tiffany. Share this with a friend, someone who you know will appreciate it. Go and check out Sewing with Soul. I would love to coach you live for 5 weeks. I would love for you to be able to experience the freedom level cash, the ease, the simplicity, where you have the feeling of, ah, I get it now. It's clicking. It's finally working. I understand. Like, I get what I was missing before, and being able to have that feeling. And there's so many students who have gotten that feeling because they showed up. And it's so much deeper than even money. It's when you're empowered to know I'm going to be okay, no matter what it is my multi passionate ass wants to put out in the world. Like, I know how all of this works now. And as I continue to get better at this skill, I'm only going to attract more money. I'm only going to attract more incredible clients. I'm only going to create more sales for myself because I now have a way that works that actually feels good to me and it feels good to my people. And therefore, it's a perfect energetic match for abundance. Go to projectmewithtiffany.com/selling with soul. Swipe up. It's in the show notes in the description here on YouTube, in my link in bio, on TikTok and Instagram at Project Me with Tiffany. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you.